चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srimad Prabhupada ki Jai. So we are now hearing Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is speaking about the glories to Prachetas, the glories of the Lord. And we stopped somewhere here. Dear Aniruddha, you also expand as Soma, the moon god who controls the mind. He provides the foods offered to the gods and forefathers. Furthermore, you are the origin of the three Vedas, which instruct everyone in their obligations to their forefathers, the gods, other living beings, and saintly people. Kindly free me from all such obligations by giving me the strength to engage fully in your loving service. Soma is also responsible for the tongue's ability to relish the taste of food. Please give me the strength that I will not taste anything but your sacred remnants. And I was thinking also the tongue is meant for speaking, right? And we find so many different things tasty, talking about different things tasty. But we pray to the Lord to give us the taste to chant the holy names because that's the sweetest possible thing the tongue can ever be engaged in. So we can pray to Lord Aniruddha, give us the taste to chant the holy names and to relish. Because once we have taste for holy name, everything else, we can prioritize everything else easily. Just before coming to Puri, I had like two options. One was an option to go with a family member on a kind of a vacation. It's an important family member, and then there was this, and I was in a dilemma. I'm going to disappoint this person immensely, intensely, and I had to make a choice, and I had to choose between Jagannath Puri Yatra, and I had to take a stand. And I was thinking, it's impossible to choose something unless we have a better taste for it. We usually choose something that we feel that it's worth it, right? Like taste. This is tastier. And I was noticing how certain mundane relationships, certain relationships which are not centered on Krishna, those relationships. I mean, these are also family, but still, family are also devotees, but still the intention, the level, even among association of devotees, there are levels. And I was just thinking how my taste for the other things. And then they, last night, they sent me like pictures of the amazing resort that they have taken and, all the amazing pictures and making me feel bad like that. And I was thinking, I actually don't feel bad at all. I'd rather be on a pilgrimage in Puri than go on any topmost resort. And I was thinking that realization, we may say it, right? But it's a deeper feeling. It says something about taste. It's about the taste for the holy dham, taste for holy name, taste for association of devotees, and also the distaste for the opposite. So the distaste for mundane engagements or priorities which are not 100% Krishna conscious. Right? How much can the senses enjoy the best bed and the best scenery, right? what can compare to seeing Jagannath? What can compare to hearing from devotees, association? Mm, so I'm just thinking of the prachetas also in that, developing that taste, right? And they're developing the taste how? By hearing. They're hearing from Lord Shiva, and then we'll see how they grow up and they transform. Yeah. So just wanted to share that. So somebody likes to read. Komal, would you like to read from here? My dear Lord, you're the gigantic universal form.
Yes, Mataji, I can read. My dear Lord, you are the gigantic universal form which contains all the living entities' bodies. By your grace, may everyone's bodily senses be engaged in your devotional service. For example, let our noses be engaged in smelling flowers offered to your lotus feet, and our hands be engaged in cleansing your temple. As the life breath of every living entity, you maintain the three worlds. Consequently, you alone enable everyone to engage in life's real duty with full bodily and mental strength. I pray that I may serve you with my life, wealth, intelligence, and words. The Prachetas looked at each other. They each had the same question in their mind. What was the need to pray in this way? Was the intention to serve Krishna not sufficient? Shiva said, even though you may desire to engage in the Lord's service, without his sanction you cannot do so. That is why I am teaching you how to pray for the Lord's mercy. Only by his grace can you serve him. The brothers thanked Shiva and he continued his instructions. My Lord, you are spiritual sound which reveals the truth of both matter and spirit. Your holy names are the essence of these vibrations. You are also the all pervading ether that carries the sound. Please purify me so that by chanting your holy names, I may understand both the material worlds and the highest spiritual worlds known as the Vaikuntha planets. The spiritual planets, like yourself, are supremely pure.
Okay, we'll pause there for a second. This point here, see, it's a very scientific process. When we chant the holy name, it's not some sort of, it's not just some religious, sentimental thing. Oh, it is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, and then you're like, okay, you're a religious person, and you're like a saint or a monk, and then it's not like a superficial, sentimental thing. It's actually deep because the chanting cleanses the subconscious mind, and then it refines our taste. The chanting of the holy name and the taste to chant the holy name, the taste to be with devotees, it enhances our quality of consciousness, and then that in turn makes us understand higher topics, because as long as we are in the lower consciousness, right, like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if we eat food in the mode of tamas guna and rajas guna, if we listen to mundane music which is in tamas and rajas, if we are associating with topics which are tamas and rajas, naturally we'll go down and down and down. But the more we're discussing topics like this, right, how the Lord is in charge and what kind of prayers the great devotees do, how to engage all our senses in a way that we develop higher taste, then what does that purification mean? That purification means of our taste, purification of our priorities, purification of our goals and aims and intentions. It's not just some kind of external gymnastics of, oh yeah, I wear kantimala, shave my head, and then I hold a bead bag and I chant. No, it's about, like just in the beginning when Komal was there, when I logged in and before we started reading, I said I'm in Jagannath Puri, and immediately Komal said, oh please, pray so that we can get pure. What did you say exactly? So we can
We
be
get the taste for devotional service, Mataji.
taste, yeah, pure. She said something like for the pure devotional service, right? Because there is devotional service, but there is pure devotional service. Devotional service, so many, okay, you can do this, that, you're engaged, but pure devotional service means it's uninterrupted and unmotivated. We're not doing it with any mundane intention, and so it's pure. So to ask, to have that taste, right? To have that prayer, it means that you have knowledge. You know what to ask. That reminds me of that story of that shepherd who was amongst very exalted devotees, and they engaged him to go and call the other Vaishnava saints on the other side of the river. And this shepherd knew nothing, right? Knew nothing. He said, "What will I get if I go and do this work for you?" And they said, "We'll give you anything you ask." And then while he was getting this other saint, Kanakadasa, on the boat, Kanakadasa asked him, "What did they tell? What did they tell you? What will they give you if you did this task?" He said, "They told me they'll give me anything. What are you planning to ask?" "Oh, I'm planning to ask them grains for the whole year so that I don't have to worry." They said, and he said, "No, no, no, don't ask that. That would be very silly. Ask them for something bigger, higher." And then he said, "What would be higher?" He said, "Ask them." And he said, "What were they doing?" And then the shepherd said, "Oh, they were laughing. Some were crying. Some were saying something and laughing about it. Somebody else was saying something about Krishna and crying about it. I couldn't understand anything. Everything was going above my head." So then the saint tells him, "Ask the person, I want a little bit of what you were crying for, and I want a little bit of what you're laughing for." And then that's so amazing pastime that is. And then he doesn't know what he's asking, but he's guided by the devotee, so he knows what to ask, you know. And then he brings the saint, and then everybody's so happy, and they ask him, "What do you want?" And then he says, "I want a little bit of what you were laughing for, and I want a little bit of what you were crying for." And they're shocked. It's like, what, you're asking the topmost rasa, like you're asking the Krishna prema, you're asking the bhava, right? You're asking for that. And then they had promised they'll give anything. And then they blessed him. And then he became Gopaladasa. He became this person, this shepherd in the next life. He becomes a great devotee and writer and scholar. And he wrote so many songs and literature for the common people to understand Bhagavatam. And it's mind blowing how that one prayer, what one prayer can do. It's amazing. And even personally, I had that experience. I prayed for protection, and I prayed for association. I prayed for to be, to progress in spiritual life. And then somehow I didn't know that these family members were planning the specific grandiose location and everything. I didn't know any of that, and they all obviously they booked the tickets for me and everything, and it all got wasted, right? And then we had like a little bit of argument. They were like, "Choose, you want to be with us or you want to be in Puri with your friends?" And I was like, "If you're forcing me to choose, then I am choosing Puri." So I was just thinking prayers, right? I had prayed before. I was praying during the yagya. What I was praying was mainly for the protection so that my path, my progress towards spiritual life is not interrupted. And somehow Krishna arranged for everything. And maybe before the yagya, I wouldn't have the strength to say no, but somehow Krishna gave me the strength. Mm, So, like that, these are very practical principles that we can apply in everyday life and experience the taste. And in order to gain taste, we need to do some sacrifice, little bit of sacrifice. Mm. In my case, there was a little relational, whatever, gap. The parents, they were very disappointed and all that. And that's the price I had to pay, the sacrifice to show. Sometimes we need to show to Krishna what we prioritize. Do I wake up early even if I'm a little tired? That's showing Krishna that I want to chant. Do I study Bhagavatam no matter what? It's a way to show Krishna. Do we do yoga, pranayama, Vishnu Sahasranam? It's a way to show to Krishna that I care. So, very important principles as follows. One is prayer. What is our prayer? And the second thing is when the prayer comes to happen, take the chance. Because we pray, but then Krishna also will test our determination. He's not just going to give you immediately the taste. He will test and see, are you qualified? Do you really want it, or it was just a lip sync prayer? So yeah, very relevant points. Please continue. Maybe somebody else like to read. I can't see who is here in the room because I'm on the phone. But if somebody likes to continue, take over from Komal. Thank you, Komal.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll read.
Yeah.
And only those who are completely purified can approach them. Lord, you inspire people to act piously and impiously, and you award them their respective results. By your grace, pious karmis attain the heavenly Pitraloka, while the demonic are cast into repeated birth and death in this world. I therefore offer you my obeisance. My respects to you, the source of all benedictions. Everything is meant for your pleasure. You are the master of all mysticism, the original cause of all causes, and the personification of religion. Your knowledge is supreme, infinite, and without obstruction. As Rudra, you are the lord of false ego. You control the conditioned souls who work for profit. You also control the work itself and the results of that work, as well as the body, mind, and senses. You are the source of Vedic knowledge and the activities it prescribes.
Got it.
Please therefore endow me with perfect knowledge so my mind, senses, and words will all turn toward your devotional service. Shiva gazed at the Prachetas with his three reddish eyes. Tell me what you have understood so far.
Wow. Let's pause there. See this prayer. You know what would be nice? Any of you, if you like, I can also do it a little later when I have my computer. But I think we should compile these specific things here, these different prayers here. Please, therefore, endow me with perfect knowledge, so my mind, senses, and words will all turn toward your devotional service. And here, this one here, right? I pray that we should compile all this. It would be really nice. I pray that I may serve you with my life, wealth, intelligence, and words. Please purify me so that the chanting of your holy names because this will help us in our, we do these daily prayers. We can add some of this because this is Shiva, who is always absorbed in taking shelter of the Lord, and he has the taste for the holy name, and he gives rasa. He's rasa pradayaka. He's the one who gives that rasa. He gives the taste. He gives that mellows and that attraction towards the Lord. So many beautiful prayers are here actually. Oof, so amazing. Again, no, we may have friends who may not have this taste. And when we discuss with them, it's not very, they may not have the taste, but when you discuss with devotees who have the taste, whoa, it's another level. So I'm going to just mark and I'll try to copy these things and send it on the group. Those prayers. Okay. Mataji, you can continue.
Okay. The brothers moved close. The brothers conferred, and then the eldest said, Lord, you are teaching us how to pray to Vishnu so that we may be purified of ignorance. The origin of sound is Krishna. Through the sound vibration of the holy Vedas and his holy names, the Lord facilitates purification of our body, mind, and words, turning them exclusively towards devotional activities. Shiva smiled broadly. Yes, now I will teach you how to pray so that you can see the Lord. Listen carefully. Dear Lord, please mercifully reveal that form which is adorned and worshipped by your dear devotees. I am not interested in your universal form, nor in your feature of the impersonal, all pervasive Brahman, nor in your form as a supersoul. I wish to see you in your complete perfection, your beautiful form, the source of all pleasurable relationships, which is especially liked by your devotees. Only that supreme, personal form of yours can perfectly satisfy the senses so that they lose all attraction to material enjoyment. The brothers moved closer, their hearts hankered to see Lord Vishnu. The eldest prince said, O great one, Please tell us more about the Lord's beauty. Shiva closed his eyes. His complexion resembles a dark monsoon cloud and glistens like rainfall. He has four long, graceful arms and is the embodiment of beauty. His charming face is decorated with eyes shaped like lotus petals, an elegant raised nose, an enchanting smile, a noble forehead, and ears adorned with sparkling gems. His merciful smile and loving glance accentuate his beauty. Vishnu's yellow garments wave in the breeze, appearing like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. He wears glittering earrings, a dazzling helmet, bangles, garland, belt, ankle bells, and other jeweled ornaments. His four hands hold a conch, shell, disc, club, and lotus flower. The Kaustubha pearl adorned his chest, and gleaming epaulets his leonine shoulders. His chest is adorned with the Srivatsa lines, the insignia of goddess Lakshmi. The beauty of his chest excels that of black siliceous stone streaked with gold lines. Tears streamed from Shiva's closed eyes. His abdomen resembles a banyan leaf marked with three ripples that move delightfully when he breathes, appearing as if the universe, which sprouted from his deeply coiled navel, is about to re enter it. His attractive blackish hips are covered by yellow silken cloth tied by a belt embellished with golden filigree. His well built frame and perfectly formed lotus feet, calves, thighs, and knees are extraordinarily gorgeous. Shiva slowly opened his eyes. Dear princess, may pray in this way. My dear Lord Krishna, your feet appears like two petals of a blossoming lotus growing during the autumn season. The effulgence from your toenails dissipates the darkness in the heart of conditioned souls who seek your shelter. My Lord, kindly show me your form, which dispels all doubts and fears from your devotee's heart. You are the supreme spiritual master who can enlighten deluded souls struggling in the darkness of ignorance. Those wishing to purify their existence should meditate on your lotus feet. Anyone desiring to attain fearlessness must practice bhakti yoga while adhering to their varnashrama duties. Dear Lord, even the King of Heaven desires your devotional service. You are difficult to reach for those engaged in karma yoga, jnana yoga, or mystic meditation, but those who practice bhakti attain you easily. My Lord, there are many transcendentalists who aspire to surpass the material energy. Some cultivate Vedic knowledge, others practice the physical discipline of Ashtanga yoga. But only those rare souls who take shelter of your lotus feet can satisfy you. No wise person serious to achieve life's perfection would take to any process other than bhakti yoga. You expand an invincible time, which is so powerful that merely by raising your eyebrows, you annihilate the material world. Nothing can elude time's influence. It destroys the materialist's success and the jnani yogi's realization of impersonal Brahman. Yet time does not touch a devotee who has taken complete shelter of you. One of the brothers said, My Lord, this may be true of a devotee who has attained Krishna. What though of one who is not yet fully surrendered? Does time destroy his efforts? Shiva smiled. An excellent question. A devotee's achievement is never destroyed by time. Even if he has not reached perfection in his next life, he begins from where he left off. Such an opportunity is given to the materialists or
Is
jnanis.
not given.
Their
Is not
attachment,
given.
materialists or
I
jnanis,
said is not given to the materialist.
is not given to the materialist or jnani. Their attachments are lost of the time at the time of death. Their achievement of one who takes to the process of bhakti, however, is never destroyed, even if incomplete. The brothers looked at each other. Plainly, they need only perform bhakti. But how? Whose help should they seek? Shiva understood their minds. He said, if even by chance one briefly associates with Krishna's pure devotee, he loses all attraction for material success or impersonal liberation. You need not seek the blessing of any god. They will also die one day. So their benedictions are of no value. Simply pray to Krishna as follows. Dear Lord, the Ganges water is celebrated as being able to extirpate all kinds of sinful reactions of those who bathe in her. Similarly, the association of pure souls, always absorbed in hearing and chanting about you, can free us of material contamination. It is our humble prayer that you bless us with the association of such devotees who are compassionate and free from material desires and pretension. There is no greater blessing.
This point is very clear. Their attainments are lost at the time of death. And then it says, the achievements of one who takes to the process of bhakti, however, is never destroyed, even if incomplete. So this means that the emotions that we develop for Krishna, the attachment, the taste, it's not going to go away. Whereas external accomplishments such as whatever it is, the siddhis and the jnana and the yoga, Ashtanga yoga, like body, right? Ashtanga yoga is about, oh, you have an excellent body and you have an excellent this and that. But then when we die, it also dies. But bhakti is something of the heart and it's something of our soul. So bhakti is something for the soul, whereas so many other yogas, it's more for the body and the mind. So this is the point here. Okay, we can continue. Oh, actually, we are almost. We can stop here and continue tomorrow. There's no greater blessing. There's another one. Retention. See, that also I was thinking. Pretense is also another obstacle. Because there are devotees and devotees, right? There are devotees who are struggling, like me, and then there are devotees who are well established in their bhakti. So it's important to distinguish and discriminate. Rasastali Mataji,
Yes.
you have the affirmation.
Yes. Madhuri, you are in Puri? Jagannath Puri?
Yes, Mataji, I'm in Puri.
Okay. Did you come yesterday only?
No, I just arrived now. I'm waiting for check-in because I arrived early. I'm waiting.
Okay. Please pray for us when you go to the temple, please. This is affirmation 5. I treat the Mahamantra as Radha and Krishna, fully present in sound. Srila Prabhupada said, the intellectually we cannot understand that the holy name is non-different from Krishna. It is something that we must experience. Those of us from the West did not understand the concept of God being present in a deity. For example, but with faith in Prabhupada's words, we worship the deity of Krishna. Because we worship the deity with that kind of faith, we began to realize and experience that Krishna is indeed non-different from the deity. We experienced his presence and we became attached to the deity. It's the same when the holy name we may not be able to intellectually understand how Krishna is the same as his name, but we can experience it. This affirmation will get us off the intellectual platform and help us embrace the name as Krishna. We may not always have much of an experience of Krishna in his name, but when we place awareness on the reality that we are associating with Radha and Krishna while we chant, our experience of Krishna in his name deepens. When we worship the deity in the same consciousness, we begin to experience the presence, mercy, and various aspects of our relationship with the deity. In the same way, when we treat the holy name as Radha and Krishna deities in the form of sound, we increasingly experience and realize the presence of Radha and Krishna in their names. Prabhupada said, The name is non-different from Krishna, that Krishna is fully present in his name. Therefore, we affirm that we will treat the holy name as Krishna, fully present in sound. We bow down to the holy name within our heart, and we chant the holy name with the understanding that this is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada once said, when we chant the holy name, it is the same as taking darshan of the deities. When the curtains open, we bow down. Similarly, we should bow down to the holy name as we chant, thinking that Krishna is manifesting his presence before us. Hare Krishna.
Wow, perfect, no? Exactly what we were discussing about the taste, attachment, deities, perfect.